What do you notice around you?
I think there's water of some kind, but I'm not seeing a whole lot.
Okay. Just let yourself settle. You just have the feeling that there feels like there's some water there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear it or feel it, or is it just, you just know?
I just know.
Okay. All right. Does it feel like, well, what can you tell me about it? Kind of let yourself breathe a little deeply, let yourself slip a little more deeply.
I think I'm near the ocean.
Okay. All right. And what else is happening?
I might be on a boat.
Okay. Do you have a feel of like what? Can you tell me a little bit about the boat? What does it feel like or seem like?
I think I'm on a ship, a big boat.
Okay. All right. Is it a wooden one or is it metal or?
Wooden.
Wooden, okay. And where are you on the ship?
I'm outside on top.
On the deck somewhere. Okay. All right. And how are you feeling? What kind of emotions are you feeling?
I feel lonely.
Okay.
But also like I'm looking forward to something.
Okay. All right. Now, does it feel like there's anybody else on the ship with you?
Yes.
Okay. And you're out looking at the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like you're going someplace?
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Now, do you have any sense of your body?
A little bit.
Okay. Do you have any idea what you might be wearing? Have any feelings of like, oh, I have this on my body?
But yeah, I mean, I'm wearing clothes. I think pants.
Pants, okay. So does your body feel like male or female?
Male.
Male, okay. Right. Does it feel young or old?
Young.
Okay.
Not real young, but.
Yeah, like young man kind of thing. Does it feel healthy?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a young man on this boat, or on the ship, really. Do you feel like you're one of the crew or you're a passenger?
I think I'm one of the crew.
Ah, you're one of the crew, okay. Is this like your first voyage, or have you been doing this before?
I've been doing this before.
Okay. All right. Well, what else do you notice around you? Anything you notice that sticks out? Either you hear it or see it or feel it.
There's a lot of people moving about.
Okay.
Working on the ship.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have a particular role on the ship? Is there something that you're more likely to do than...
I think I'm like helping with the sails and taking care of the ship.
Right. Well, I know sometimes some of the guys have to coil up the mast and stuff to help with the sails.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel like something you had to do? You've done before? Yeah. You can see a lot from up there, can't you?
Yeah, you can see. Feels like the whole ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the sky.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any sense of where you're going?
I think we're exploring,
Oh.
looking for land.
Okay. All right. So is your ship more like a regular kind of merchant ship or like a warship? Like does it feel like
merchant trade?
Okay. You're out doing some exploring.
Yeah.
And does it feel warm? I'm thinking, are you like in a warm place exploring, or does it feel cool?
It's kind of cool.
Okay.
But it's not cold.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you feel the waves come up on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel the mist, and it's like kind of cold, but
right.
But the weather's not cold.
Right, right. Oh, that's kind of refreshing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it kind of does that. Yeah, that's cool. So now, do you have a particular nationality? Like, are you English or Spanish or Portuguese? Do you have any sense of that?
I feel Portuguese.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. And so you're off exploring. Now, do you have any friends on that ship? Like anybody? You know, because sometimes you're in close quarters.
I think I'm friendly with lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a lot of friends. Like, I feel like I might be a bit different than
I see. Okay.
the other people on the ship.
Right, right. So you're friends, but not necessarily anything too deep at this point.
Like maybe I'm a different nationality than them.
Ah, okay. Well, you're explorers, right? So there could be a bunch of different nationalities on there a lot of times. Sure, sure. Well, let's go down to where it is you sleep. Let's find where's your berth on this? I mean, can go down and tell me what you see or experience where you sleep with all the other people, or what it's like.
It's like a hammock.
Mm-hmm.
Down below.
Okay.
And there's lots of other hammocks.
Right.
Containers.
Yeah. Stuff. All the cargo stuff. Yeah. Now, do you have to share your hammock? I know sometimes some ships are so tight that like two people share, like in other words, they take turns in the hammock. Or no, you just, that's good. You got your own. That's nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. And let's go from there. Let's go to the mess and see where it is you eat. See what the cooks got ready for you to eat today. I know it's on board ship, so it may not be fun, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very far from where we sleep.
Okay.
It's a walk up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stirring something like a gruel or porridge or something.
Okay.
They have different biscuits or...
Yeah. Good old hardtack, probably. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what else should we know about your life on board ship? What else is there that kind of comes to mind about being on the ship?
I like the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And I like sailing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like the ship.
Ah, okay. Now, have you been doing this a long time?
I've been with the ocean for a long time.
I see. Okay. So it's kind of like the ship's a means to get you someplace.
Yeah.
And you like being near the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, before we leave this particular scene, is there anything else we should know?
I feel like I'm teaching or helping them to know the ocean.
Ah, okay. Very interesting.
Or this particular part where we are. Where
Okay.
we're going.
So like you feel a little bit more familiar with this area than like the captain and the navigator and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so you're helping them. Very cool. All right. Well, now we're going to drift away from that scene. Drifting away and moving away to an important day in this life, a significant day. Traveling a little more deeply within, feeling deeply relaxed. And now we've reached that significant day when something important is happening. What's happening on this day?
I'm on land now.
Okay.
I feel nervous.
Okay.
I think I'm in trouble.
All right.
Something's been misunderstood.
Okay. And what's happening around you?
There's a lot of people.
Okay.
They seem angry.
Okay. And they're angry at you?
Yeah, they're angry at me.
Okay.
Like I misled them or they didn't do what they thought I was going to do, or they had their expectations weren't correct.
Right, so they expected something, and when it didn't happen, now they're mad at you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody there that's supportive of you?
There's a few people that are sympathetic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That know that nothing was guaranteed.
Okay. Do you have any sense of what it is? What it's about?
I think they lost something, like maybe cargo or money.
Okay.
I think there was a storm, and they thought I could help them get out of it.
Because you knew the ocean, right? The area around?
Yeah.
Okay. But you can't control a storm.
Right.
But they need to have somebody to take it out on because they're upset.
Right.
Yeah.
And because I'm different, they can do that to me.
Right. Okay. So you've got these kind of people that are very angry around you, and then what happens?
I think they arrest me. They tie my hands.
Okay.
And I think they leave me there.
Okay. And where's there? Is that like in the town square or something?
Yeah, it's like the port. They leave me.
The port, okay. With your hands tied?
Yeah, I'm trying to... I think I might be like kind of in a holding area.
I see. Okay.
At the port, yes.
Okay.
So kind of like a prison jail for...
Mm-hmm. Is anybody else in there with you in that area?
There's the person who's in charge of it.
Okay.
To like lock me up.
Okay. All right. Let's go a little bit forward. What happens now? What happens after that?
I think they're going to need me again.
Ah, okay.
So I think they let me out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to help them.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But I feel like I have to.
Okay.
Or they'll lock me back up. So do something worse.
So you feel kind of stuck. You want to really leave, but you feel like you can't.
Yeah.
Okay. That's tough. Anything else that you notice?
I'm walking on the dock back to a ship.
Okay.
So I'm going back with them.
Is this a ship you've been on before?
Yes.
Ah, so you recognize the ship. What about the people? You recognize the people?
Yes, some of them.
Okay. All right. So you know them, but you didn't really want to be there if you didn't need to be.
Right. I don't trust them.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that.
I want to get away.
Mm-hmm.
When we go on the ocean, I'm trying to look for a way to get away.
Okay. And so you said you don't trust them. What do you think they might do?
I think if something goes wrong again, or when we get back even, they'll lock me back up.
Okay. So either you're going to end up taking the blame if something goes wrong, or they'll just put you back locked up until they need you the next time.
Yeah.
And just take your freedom away. Okay. Well, that's not a very fun thing to feel for sure. So do you have any sense where the ship is going this time?
I think it's going to Africa.
Okay.
For goods and
Okay.
spices and vegetables and stuff.
Okay. Not slave trade.
Not slave trade.
Well, that's good at least, I guess. Okay. So it's going to, for trade, right? To go get stuff you don't get in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else we should know about this journey before we leave?
I felt like things were very unfair for me.
Okay.
I'm just stuck.
Yeah, I'm stuck. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to leave this scene you're looking at. And we're going to drift and move to another significant day in that life, a day when something important is happening. Traveling a little more deeply within and feeling deeply relaxed. What's happening on this day?
I'm on land again.
Okay.
It's very warm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him trying to run away.
Okay.
I'm on a path and there's someone with a wagon.
Okay.
And I'm trying to ask him for help, but I don't think he wants to help me.
Okay.
He's a big man.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep going. But I'm getting thirsty.
Mm.
It's very dry.
Okay.
My hands hurt for some reason.
Oh.
I hurt my hands.
Okay.
Burn my hands.
Mm-hmm. Are they just hurt? Or are they bloody? Or are there any abrasions?
They're like raw.
They're raw. Okay.
I burnt them on a rope.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You said it's very dry. Is it like, is the area around there is very, like the land very dry?
Yeah, it's very dry.
Okay.
Dusty.
Mm-hmm. And so you're following that path, trying to get away, feeling your hands are hurting a good bit. And you're feeling very thirsty because it's so dusty.
Yeah.
What else is happening?
I just keep walking. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, it's hard to know what you're going to find, right? You just needed to get away.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move along a little bit and see where you get to. What happens next?
When we get to a town,
Okay.
there's a market.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find somewhere to go.
Okay.
Go to a tavern. An inn.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people inside at tables.
Tell me what the people look like. What kind of clothes they're wearing, kind of thing.
Yeah, the men are wearing pants and shirts, and they don't look too out of the ordinary. Women are wearing dresses,
Okay.
kind of form-fitting at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And they have biggish hair, and curled.
Okay.
Partly on their head, but partly down their back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a stage, but there's no one on it right now.
Okay.
There's a bar, so I go to the bar. And there's a man, young man, probably in his 20s. He has a white shirt on with suspenders.
Okay. And so do you go to him?
I go to talk to him to see if I can stay. I think I maybe know him from somewhere from before.
Mm-hmm.
The ship. Like, this is somewhere I've been before.
I see. Okay.
But I don't have family here.
All right. But at least have like somebody you kind of know.
Yeah.
All right. And what happens then?
I think he lets me stay. Gives me some water and food.
Okay.
And a room. But he's very nervous.
Ah, okay. Is he afraid somebody's going to find you there or something?
Yeah, that he's going to get in trouble.
For helping you. But it was nice that he did help you.
Yes, I'm very thankful that he helped me.
So where will you go next?
I just keep thinking about I need to make money.
Okay.
So I need to find a job.
Mm-hmm.
Or some way to make money.
Okay.
And I think I go around to the market to find a job.
Mm-hmm.
Get a job that has me at the market a lot.
Okay.
Doing something very physical, like
Okay.
something where I have to lift a lot of stuff and move a lot of stuff.
But you can make some money, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. So on this day, you managed to escape and make it to a place where you found a place to stay, at least for a short term, and a job to do so you could earn some money to get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I feel hopeful now.
Ah, good, okay. Fun and free at least, right?
Yeah,
Fully
free.
Free? Yeah, good, good. All right, well, we're going to leave this scene you're looking at, and we're going to drift and float to another significant day in that life. Another day when something important is happening. And now we're there. What's happening on this day?
Keep wanting to say hello. For some reason, I don't know.
Okay.
I think I meet someone.
Mm-hmm.
A woman.
Okay.
We're at the market. I think she's pretty.
Okay.
She's about my age, so I think like mid-30s.
Okay.
She has blonde hair, so she looks quite different from me.
Ah, okay.
But she's nice.
Well, that's important, right? And what happens with her? Does anything happen?
I think we get married at some point.
Okay. All right. So you decided to stay here?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
But it's not near the ocean.
Ah.
And I miss the ocean, but
Okay.
it's okay.
So you still miss the ocean, but you have a nice wife to make up for some of that.
Yeah. I'm not lonely anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not being used for my knowledge.
Right. you're free on your own terms and you have a place that you can call yours and a family. It's really important. All right, we're going to move to one more important day in this life that you're looking at. We're going to drift and move to another important or significant day when something important is happening. And now we're there. What's happening on this day?
I think I ran into someone.
Okay.
From before.
From when you were on the ships?
Yes.
Ah, okay. And what happens?
I'm scared.
Okay.
He's shocked, surprised.
You didn't think he'd find you there?
No, and I don't think he was looking for me.
Right. He just happens to be
I
there.
think it was an accident.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so what happens?
I tried to convince him not to tell anyone.
Okay.
And I don't think he cares. I don't think I'm an issue anymore.
Right. Enough time's passed.
Yeah. Look, no one's worried about me. They have other things to do.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't care. So he's just trying to find his own way too.
Okay. And how does learning that make you feel?
Relieved.
Yeah, I bet. I would be relieved. So you can continue on with your life.
Yes.
That's got to feel really good. Now, do you have any children?
Yes.
Ah, how many?
2.
2. Boy and girl, couple of boys. How many?
A boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl, okay. And a beautiful wife. It's a very nice life. So what are you doing now to support you and your family?
I think I'm farming something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And selling things at the market.
Okay.
I want to say it's like a wheat or some sort of grain.
Mm-hmm. As you look at this life, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about your life right now? It's like what you're living.
Yeah. I feel it was pretty, it was kind of scary at first.
Yeah.
And like the things I loved were being used against me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to break free of it, so that's pretty extraordinary.
Yeah. So there are certainly people that wouldn't have been able to do that. It took a lot of courage and strength to do that. And now you have a good life.
Yes.
You have a family and a place of your own, and you've left that other life behind. The only drawback is you're not near the ocean.
Yeah.
But other than that, okay.
I feel like I could go visit though.
That's what I was thinking too. You could always go visit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, seeing that guy that you saw from one of the ships, and that interaction may mean that nobody else really cares anymore either.
Yeah, I think they've, I want to say, progressed from it. Like,
okay. Yeah.
Not that they've gotten better as people, but that they don't need my help anymore.
Right. Okay.
That I'm a forgotten memory.
Right.
They've made money other ways.
Okay. That means it can be that can be safer for you to go visit the ocean again.
Yes.
Take your children to see the ocean. Love it the way you did. Okay. All right. We're going to leave that scene, and we're going to move forward to the last day in the life that we're looking at. You can watch it as an observer if you want to. We've gone forward to the very last day of your life in this lifetime that we are watching. What's happening on this last day of your life?
I'm in a bed.
Okay.
I think I'm old. I don't think I'm really old. I think I'm kind of old.
Okay. All right. And is there anybody else with you?
Yeah, my kids and my wife. And I think I hurt myself working. Still trying to work.
Okay.
But
so it feels kind of like an injury kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my leg and on my side.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to write something down.
Okay.
For my kids, I think. Stuff about the ocean.
Okay. All right. Did you get a chance to take them to the ocean?
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. And then you just kind of pass in your sleep, or?
Yeah, I think I have an infection.
Okay.
They get very hot.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a fever and yeah. Okay. All right. Now, whatever happened has already happened, and you're on the other side of it. And from that position, you can look back at the entire life and see it from a different perspective. Every life has a lesson and a purpose. As you look at the life, what did you learn from it?
To take back your freedom.
Yeah.
And that you can move past bad situations.
Absolutely. Now, every life has a lesson and a purpose, and we just said. What do you think was the purpose of that lifetime?
I think it was to show that people will use me for your knowledge, but you can overcome that.
Okay.
You can be cautious of that, but not scared.
Okay.
Not to let it defeat you.
Okay. All right. Now let's drift away from that life. We're drifting and floating away from that life, leaving the man there to continue on his own journey, pure and cleansed. I know the higher self could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Liana to see today. You chose to bring forward this life for her to see. Why did you pick that lifetime?
Because some of it was easy, but some of it was hard.
Okay.
She gets scared sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
And she needs to realize she can change. Come into her power.
And does this relate to her life now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is something she needs to remember for this lifetime.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else about that lifetime that you want her to remember or know?
She has a lot of knowledge.
Okay.
She doesn't need to be scared.
Okay. Is Liana scared a good bit?
Not in the traditional sense of the word.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
She is hesitant. She has been taught to hide.
Ah, okay.
But she doesn't need to.
Mm-hmm. Who taught her to hide?
Many people.
Okay.
Long before this life.
I see. Okay. So it's something her soul is familiar with.
Yes.
Okay. And so her soul has learned that and brought that forward to this lifetime.
Yes.
Okay. But if I understand correctly, she doesn't need to be afraid.
No.
And she needs
Hi, thanks for listening to my first ever past life regression, which was done using QHHT. I'll put the practitioner down below. She's local to Raleigh, North Carolina. So I personally do Soul Center Healing Hypnosis, which includes energy and entity release and chakra rebuilding on the front end to strengthen your ability to connect during your past life and to your higher self. So as I'm sure you can hear, you're probably looking for some extra details like I was during that past life. I was very curious about that life that I was seeing. I also received a lot more information in my head than I let myself say, and I did censor myself. So I knew that there were some things missing already. But since then, I got more immediately after the session and also got more from my guides and from the Akashic records as well. So I thought it'd be more interesting if I just went over that. And then I'm also going to draw in a little bit of astrocartography to what was my home then that I learned from the Akashic records. So, as you heard, I was a navigator on the ship that may have been Portuguese, but I didn't like that the ship, felt lonely, a little bit of an outsider, like I was a different nationality. They didn't treat me well. I was arrested. And then, they took me back because they needed me, and then I ran away. But so learning now, I was Brazilian, and because of the time period, and I forgot to specifically ask this when I was accessing the Akashic records. This is Maisie Moonbeam. She says hello. She has a piece of plastic. And I may have been on a Portuguese boat, but just because of the timing that was kind of unclear, it might have been Spanish, or it might have been both, because both kind of feels right. So I was Brazilian. I was taken against my will. I was a native Brazilian, specifically in the Amazon, taken against my will to help them navigate. And funny, I did go to Brazil in June, so a couple months before I had this session, and did go to the Amazon, more on the East Coast than what I'm going to talk about in a while. But I do know that like colonizers did use native people to help them navigate the Amazon River specifically. I don't know about the ocean, but it would make sense for how, if you know how the Amazon runs into the ocean, it would make sense that native tribes and cultures would know how to navigate both. Yeah. And while I was in there, while I was accessing the Akashic records and talking to my guides, I was wondering, well, why wasn't I just kept in Brazil and used as a navigator there? Why did they take me back to Europe and then later Africa? And they said, well, you were a really good navigator. I also asked, how did they know to like take me as a navigator? And they said, well, you were famous. You were a famous navigator, which is also kind of confusing to me because when you're colonizing a place, I would think it would be easy for people to hide who's good at what if you don't know the culture. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. I would love to see that. I would love to see what happened. So yeah, I was this navigator on this boat. I was enslaved, taken against my will. Although the Akashic Records said yes, enslaved, but compensated. I think they mean very poorly and very disrespected and poorly treated. When I went to Africa, that was part of a slave trade. I think me now was just so horrified and didn't want to believe my soul could be part of the slave trade. What I know now about my soul, it is what it is. So I said no, like immediately. And if you listen, you can tell I said no very quickly. Where we went in Africa, I believe was South Africa. Or at least when I ran away, I was still in Africa and settled with a Dutch outpost or trading outpost or colony. That's where like the timing is a little off for me. I asked the Akashic Records about timing, and I even remember saying this after the session to the practitioner that I felt like it was the 1500s. And the Akashic Records did say it's the 1500s, but it's earlier. Maybe they knew what I was going to look up after because it wasn't exactly a sentence that made sense at the time, but it's earlier than what you'll know it to be, is how they phrased it. So Brazil was explored by European colonizers, 1500, and later throughout the 1500s by both Portugal and Spain. Dutch outpost, I'm sure trading was going on a lot earlier in South Africa with the Dutch, but they set up an outpost in South Africa sometime in the 1600s. So that's where the timing is off for me. And maybe that's where that sentence comes into play. I had to look these dates up after because I couldn't remember them. So I married a Dutch woman, became a farmer, stayed away from the ocean a lot because I didn't want to be found again, but did feel finally, after a while, comfortable going to visit. And I passed away. The thing about being, when I was arrested at the port city, I believe the people who enslaved me thought that I had very strong powers with the ocean and could prevent them from losing whatever they lost when there was a storm. And I may have had very strong navigational skills and a strong connection to the ocean, may have been a little preternatural, but I didn't have those skills, unfortunately. And yeah, that's it. That's the past life. That's what I know about it. I do have strong navigational skills here in this life. When I was studying abroad, my nickname was the homing pigeon because I always knew how to get our friends home. And I'm very good with directions. I want to talk a little bit about astrocartography and what's on my astrocartography map in Brazil, specifically in the Amazon. So like I mentioned, I did go to Brazil a few months before this session. Where I went in Brazil was the Amazon, but it was the coastal side of Amazon. So for me there's not strong planetary lines that have a strong influence. They're too far away because Brazil's very large, but I do have some parans there. But specifically, I want to talk about Manaus, which is um, one of the main cities in the Amazon in Brazil. And these planetary lines, can be felt within 250 miles, give or take. Manaus is too far away from where I was in Belém and Marajó. Um, but for me, the planetary lines there are Pluto ascendant and Moon ascendant. My chart, Pluto's in Scorpio, which puts a strong emphasis on my interest in mysteries, perception of life, and a need for transformation and change, embracing change, all that. Having Pluto ascendant on your astrocartography map puts an emphasis on uncovering uncovering the self. Yeah, like hidden self truths, power struggles. Also puts an emphasis on upheaval and change, which to me, from what I would have experienced in that life, makes sense, like so much sense that I would have experienced it in that life. And then if I traveled there, I went to the airport in Dallas, but I didn't in Manaus, and we had some weird experiences, but I didn't stay there for very long. If that I would, well, let me first explain my next line, because I think my lines and my parans, because then I think drawing that all together will make more sense. So then the other planetary line is Moon ascendant, which to me, Moon signifies strongly a past life connection. Because in shamanic astrology, the moon is all about past life, but also it's your connection to your emotions, um, and a feeling of home, and like motherly affection and things like that. So being nurtured. When I was in Brazil, even though I wasn't close to that line, but I was on a Mars moon's node, which is true north, Paran, I did feel way more comfortable, way more at home than I thought I would in Brazil. And I felt very peaceful. Like I wanted to sit out at night and like look at the stars. Um, and it just felt like very nice to be in Marajó, specifically on the island where it's very calm, and tranquil. And then, so yeah, I also have near Manaus a Mars Moon's node. Of course, I don't know if Manaus was my home, and Parans have a very much smaller area of influence, but I just think it's interesting to use it as an example. So a Mars Moon's node, Paran, is a combination of the two energies um, of these aspects. So you have the Mars Moon's node, which is assertive action, fulfilling life purpose, assertive action specifically related to karmic cycles, and confronting karmic challenges. So, I mean, what more can I say? And then also had a Sun and Mars node, which is about leadership and assertion and creative expression, which I imagine if I was to get in touch with this life while I was in Brazil, I would want to reclaim myself, my identity, my whatever parts of my soul are still there, and take leadership over them, and really own who I am because I was enslaved there. So it makes a lot of sense to me. And then, yeah, so I was going to kind of draw that in with Pluto from before, where it's mentioning the power struggles, upheaval, and change, which I think would work with all of these energies to sort of create that, or to catapult those change, to catapult that reflection, to kind of blast off uncovering what needed to be uncovered, so I could find that feeling of home, so I could, settle that past life and really take back who I was. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. I am going to post my other past life regressions that I've done, or at least parts of them. There's one that I don't want to post both parts, and I'll explain why when I post it. But I am going to post the other ones, and not all of them I can do astrocartography with them, because they're not all. Well, actually, this is the only one. This is the only one, because the other ones was, at least I think. I'll let you know. Because the other one was a life in Atlantis, which Atlantis, I believe, had multiple locations at the time, wasn't just in one place. So I don't know where it was. Maybe I can find out though. And, or the closest place that I could look at. The one that I do want to share was a fairy life, or jumping into a fairy aspect of mine. And I'm pretty sure she was like very close to where I physically am now. It was for a very specific purpose, which you'll hear. And then the other one was a galactic, more of a galactic channeling than a life. It wasn't my life, as the message that, or like not an aspect of me in the way that you would think of it, more of a soul family member, which is still kind of an aspect of you. But yeah, you'll see, and I hope you enjoy these. I'm sharing them so you can see kind of the progression of your receptivity to doing this, and how it's easier the more you do it. It'll be different for everyone, though. Some people may have amazing connections the first time. Some people may have a hard time connecting the first time. Some people, it takes more practice for, and I was one that I feel like I did a good job, but it gets better with practice. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. Hope you learn something. I'll also probably at some point be posting parts of sessions I've done on others for past lives. So I hope you stick around and check it out.